So last night I ended up going to bed pretty early, around 8 o'clock, woke up around 10, and that was when the vomiting started. Threw up everything I ate for dinner, threw up again at 12, and started having massive diarrhea issues too. With all of that, I'm actually going to have to run back into town just to clean up some layers because, yeah, it's been pretty bad. Since my parents lived only a few cities over, we decided it made more sense to go there rather than try and set me up in a hotel, especially since we didn't know how long this was going to last. So it's now Friday, and as you can see, I'm out at my parents at Canyon City. I am feeling a bit better. I'm finally getting food and water down. Looks like I'll be going back to the trail tomorrow. I'd been thinking about doing it today, but stuff still isn't working too well. It's Saturday, and I'm going to be trying to head back out. Unfortunately, my parents had been struggling through a bit of a dental issue for the last week, and they weren't able to drop me back off that morning. Fortunately, Stitch lived nearby and was willing to come get me and drive me all the way back to Salida. The advantage of having the big phone is... And it is Sunday, and thanks to Dave, aka Stitch, I am back on the trail. I take that back, it's Saturday. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So basically what happened, Tuesday night, I was tired because I hadn't slept well in the hotel. Often happens when I'm about to leave. Got to camp, made dinner, went to sleep. Figured, okay, I'm sleeping at 8 o'clock. This will be good. I'll get rest. Woke up 10 something, and I could tell I was going to throw up. Things didn't feel right. Laid there for maybe another half hour. Got to the point where, yeah, I have to get up. Went out into a freezing cold rainstorm. Started puking. Had diarrhea that was so liquidy it was hard to hold in, you know, that sort of thing. And that was most of the night. I was up again a few hours later. Same thing. Vomiting, diarrhea. I had to start cleaning up some layers. Just felt awful. And again, windstorm, wind chill had to be down in the teens, if not lower. So I was just freezing cold, stumbling around in the dark. It was very, very, very miserable. By the next morning, I took stock of things. It's like, okay, well, I carry extra underwear, etc. But some of the layers I had messed, I couldn't do without. Things like my long johns, I really need them with the cold weather. And I was just feeling awful. If I hadn't had a way to get out, I wouldn't have left the tent that entire day, you know, that sort of bad. So fortunately, I had reception. I was texting my off-trail support team, aka Jen, my parents, and Dennis, and came to the realization I've got to get out and get cleaned up. Decision was made, okay, my parents were going to come get me. They're a couple hours away from here because I'm only a little ways out of Marshall / Monarch Pass. And Dennis was able to find me a Forest Service road to get off the trail in only about 4 miles. That's what I'm on here. It's a bit on the rough side. I was in such bad shape. I was having to rest every couple hundred feet, even while walking downhill. Dennis had managed to find a local campground that had laundry that I could have gone to. But since the symptoms lined up pretty directly with my Noro experience on the Lone Star Trail, I thought, you know what, this is probably going to take longer than a day. Plus, I wanted to be out of the cold, not in my tent because I wasn't feeling well. So, made the decision to go to my parents where I could spend a couple of days. And sure enough, they got me Wednesday morning, Wednesday midday, and it's now Saturday. I am feeling better. I'm still a little queasy. After I had Noro before, that lasted for about a week afterwards. I don't know where I got it. If this was the AT and I was around a lot of common surfaces, okay, fecal contamination, fair enough. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. Thought it might have been food poisoning because I had kind of an iffy breakfast buffet at the hotel. But honestly, I don't know there's no way to tell. And obviously this coming on the heels of the whole COVID incident is really frustrating. I just want to be out of Colorado at this point. And I mean, I should have been getting to Creed about now, but is what it is. Only choice is go forward or don't. And I'm not ready to be off trail. So I am not excited to be out here at the moment. I'm not having fun at the moment, but I don't care. I'm just putting my head down and going forward. Though, if I get attacked by rabid wolverines or something like that, or catch Ebola, at that point I may just lie down and die. I talked to Jen this morning, and she was saying that she's confident after all of this, the universe wasn't going to throw me any more complication from here on out. And I was saying, damn it, you realize you just jinxed me. You just dared the universe to say, here, hold my beer. Apologies to those who were playing Masochist Disaster Bingo and thought that shoe issues would be the next big setback disaster. Afraid it was Noro. My personal bet as far as what's next on Masochist Disaster Bingo, let's see, monkeypox or bubonic plague. So yes, this really sucked. Quite frankly, that night was one of the worst I've ever had on trail, just with the vomiting, the temperature, the being remote, etc., etc. But what you gonna do? All you can do is, like I said, move forward or not. Welcome to through hiking. I guess this is the problem with having the trail name Masochist, huh? The universe tries to make it true. This also hit right as my father was having some issues around a wisdom tooth he had to have an emergency extraction on, so it's been a rough couple of days. The real shame with all this, other than all the time in town and not getting to enjoy being in town and eating and things, is I've had basically 2 weeks off between this and COVID, and my shoulder issue is still hurting while I'm wearing the pack. As far as good news, the weather forecast does look better. You know, the immediate future is still clear of precipitation. It's gotten a little warmer. The windstorm has died down, so one foot in front of the other. I'm still kind of queasy, not feeling the best still, and I was having trouble getting breakfast down this morning, but I got coffee. And I can't eat. And from experience, when I had Noro last time, because again, that's the closest match for the symptoms, I did feel queasy for, the better part of a week after, so I kind of expect that. And I'm just going to have to deal with it because I can't just delay indefinitely. By the way, the reason my voice is so bad, when I was throwing up so much, it just ripped up my throat completely, all the stomach acid and everything. And back to the trail. Took me about an hour and a half to get up here, and it was over 3 getting down. That shows you how bad a shape I was in. So, welcome to the continuing adventures of the last CDT southbounder. I've got to be by now. So this is where I was camped, where it happened. Oh well, even if I don't make a bunch of miles today, probably better to at least get started. It's 1 o'clock already. Well, I'd really hoped I'd be a little stronger out here, but I guess my desire to get going again made me discount how weak I was feeling. Oh well, I'll make it as far as I can today. Freaking squirrels. They keep getting annoyed where my tent's set up or where I'm sitting, and they go off loud like this. So it looks like there's a nice little 15-20 mile water carry up ahead. So yes, the terrain has been getting more deserty. I'm obviously not going to make it to the other side of that today. I'm either going to stay at the water or do maybe another 4 miles on the other side. It's about all I'm feeling capable of doing today. So here's the last water at 7 Tank. Originally, this was one of the options to hike out Tuesday or Wednesday. Really glad I didn't take that. So I think this is going to turn into another discretion versus valor thing. I'm really feeling weaker than I thought I was. If I'd known it was going to be like this, I probably would have stayed with my parents an extra day. So considering I've got water here, it's a good 14-15 miles to the next one, and it's a 5-mile uphill after here. I think I'm going to stay here and just see how things are in the morning. I'm at least sustainable here. I'm with the amount I'm eating, I've got extra days of food. So if I need to rest, I can do it here. I really hate setting up camp at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I feel like crap and want to lay down again. So home sweet home for the night.